in terms of the most typical ones, I mean, a lot of people, a lot end up applying to, finance, whether that's investment banking, asset management. Some end up going to private equity, consulting as well, which is kind of a lot more, I guess, on the management side. So a lot of people end up applying to that. Even a lot of people outside of economics, a lot of people studying natural sciences also end up applying for those kinds of roles. So see, those are kind of like the most common. There are also plenty of other ones as well. You can go end up working in like the UN, for example. Plenty of people end up doing just management roles within regular companies within loads of different industries. You can be in a management or a finance role within, a shoe selling company or a pharma company or wherever. So I think the skills are quite broad, which I think is good. It lets you apply to a lot of different areas. But yeah, I think by far the most common is the finance applications, and it's quite a high workload, to be honest, alongside the Cambridge course. But a lot of people kind of want to go into it.
So what do you mean by that? Like, what kind of workloads would that be alongside your degree? Like, is that like applying for internships or?
Yeah, it's exactly that, applying for internships, and obviously when you get into third year, applying for jobs, because the process is quite a tough one. And my other advice to people who are going to be applying for that, whether they're studying economics or not, because like I said, there's people outside of economics who will be applying for those roles, is plenty of universities, obviously they have a career service and they offer support, but a lot of it ends up being on you. So the earlier or the more intense you can be, trying to find out information exactly what the application process is like and kind of preparing for it, you put yourself on a bit of a better path. So, the application process involves obviously, applying to so many, and hundreds, CVs you have to send, cover letters, you have to do phone interviews, online tests, you then have to do assessment centers, going in person and doing tasks for the company, online interviews, all sorts of things. So it's just a very long process, especially when you have so many applications to do because so many other people are applying. So doing that at times, it can be, quite disheartening. It can take you ages to get an internship or to get a role. And it's something you just have to kind of, keep going along the path of whilst you're studying, which is just, tough to manage, especially when you're in exams or your first year at Cambridge, but, trying to get used to the climate here. But like I said, it's just kind of a long process, and eventually it does pay off. And the important thing is, putting yourself in a good position to be successful by getting involved with society, speaking to others, learning about the process. And for me, it was something that I wasn't that aware of going into university. So I kind of had a bit of a shock to the system of just how intense it would be. And I made loads and loads of mistakes when I was first applying for internships. I remember showing someone my CV to try and get some advice, and they were just like, what the hell is this? This is terrible. So you'll kind of make mistakes, but the earlier you can kind of get them out of the way, the earlier you can maybe, get an internship or get a job. And then obviously that takes a lot of pressure kind of off your shoulders for the rest of your studies.
Nice. So for anyone who's like listening and they're wanting to go into finance and they, who do they talk? Like, how do you find out about these internships? Like, especially in first year, like, is it through a society? Is it through Googling? Is it through LinkedIn? Like, how would you know about these internships to apply for?
Yeah, I think and there's so many things. I'll try to think about the most important things first. So, first of all, in terms of the first thing is knowing where to apply and what to apply to. So there's something really good now. They have a lot of trackers online, spreadsheets. There's loads of different ones which tell you, there'll be one for first years, one for second years, one for third years, saying all these companies have internships. This is when the application opens, this is when it ends, this is what their application process involves. And I think the best one, at least I've come across, it used to be called Bristol Tracker. It might just be called Tracker now. But that, for example, is just a massive spreadsheet. It'll tell you, okay, if you're first year and you're applying for spring weeks, which is like the first kind of a 1 week internship you can get, these are all the ones that have spaces. This is when they open, this is when they close, this is what you need to do to apply. Here's a link to go and apply. So if you want to find out where and what to apply to, that's where you go, and that's very easy to manage. And I think they also even have it for law and some other roles as well. So that's the first thing. Definitely go there to find out where you can apply. In terms of preparing for the application process, like I said, from those kind of spreadsheets, you can see exactly what the application process involves. I think one thing is speaking to people, reaching out to people who have got internships, gotten roles, and ask them, okay, so what was your application process like? And then asking them questions about each stage so you can learn where to apply to. Another thing is getting involved in student societies. That will make you look good on your CV. You also develop some of those skills and the knowledge you need for interviews and for the online tests. So yeah, I think those are the most important things. So I guess maybe quickly to summarize, because it can be a lot. I think use those trackers to see where you need to apply to.
And they're like massive spreadsheets.
Yeah, they're essentially a massive spreadsheet, and you can obviously edit it yourself as well, download it for yourself and edit when you fill them in. So use those spreadsheets to see where to apply to, speak to people to find out exactly what's involved in each application, in each part of the application process, and then try to develop your skills. So CV and cover letter, speak with people who've got internships, ask them to check, can you just look at my CV, is this okay? For online tests, there's also, what's the website called? I think it's Job Test Prep or Prep Job or something like, I think it's Job Test Prep, which you can do. And they have a lot of the online tests that different companies do, and you can practice on there. For interviews, obviously doing mock interviews, getting involved with societies will build up your knowledge so you can answer questions, and finding those kind of online resources through Google. I'd say those are the kind of the three most important things: knowing where to apply, finding out exactly what's involved in each one by speaking to people, and then, practicing through online sites, doing mock interviews, getting involved with societies. That'll make you kind of, a good applicant for these roles and internships.
Nice. And those trackers, do they have them for like graduate jobs as well?
Yeah, they do. I mean, I think I can speak first of all about the finance ones. They have, so Spring Weeks is the first internship you can get in first year, which is in Easter. It's kind of like a 1 week one. So they have them for that. They have it also for a few places that do first year summer internships. It's not that many that have official programs. So for those, I can give a bit of advice. What I did was I just emailed a lot of smaller companies who don't maybe have official programs and asked, I'm super keen to, get involved and learn more about the industry. You could have some experience there. And often, some of them will get back to you, maybe offer you kind of like an interview or something like that to see if you can go there. They have it for second year summer internships. And then, they also have it for grad roles as well, and also some off-cycle internship programs. So they're really, really useful. And I think it's something that didn't really exist, I think 10 years ago. I'm not sure exactly when they were created, but it makes the process a lot easier. So especially if someone who's just about to go into university or in the summer between A-levels and university, looking at those just to get a sense of, how many you need to apply to and what it involves is probably, a good starting point.
Nice. And about careers more generally, how is the Cambridge Career Service useful?
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously they have a career service. They send out a lot of emails with different roles. They also have speakers come in from different companies or different positions and tell you about, their career path. And I think those are useful to go to just hear from as many people as possible about how their career went, because it goes different for everyone, and there's so many different paths even to the same final role or destination. So I think going to those is quite useful. But I think the biggest driver of your own career has to be you, and I think that makes sense. And you want to try and help yourself as much as possible. And just my advice would just be proactive. Don't wait, even though there is a career service. Don't kind of just wait. I think that'll kind of solve things for you. I think that the most important thing is to go out there yourself, look for jobs through those trackers, speak to people to try and get advice and prepare for interviews and tests and jobs and everything. So that would be my biggest piece of advice: be proactive. But there is a career service which is very useful, and that's another source, for example, to look for internships and jobs, so where you can be applying to.